why the government sees this subsidy as a way to manipulate the inflation read and why they did it?
So why they're doing it is that the way the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the ABS, reads the figures for its inflationary calculations takes the consumer line only. So that's the simplest way to say it to you. It's not that clear, but it's basically that cost that would have been to the consumer, that end figure that you get from your electrical gas retailer, that is the energy figure that the ABS takes. But if upstream, as we refer to it, so if the government then comes in on top of that and says, what is the overall cost that you're going to have to pay to the consumer? It's X. Right, well, we're going to take X minus $300, and then you're going to get the $300 now through to the consumer. It's X minus 300. From the inflation read, it's therefore reduced by that amount.
And $325 for small business as well. So it's the sum of those two parts.
Yes, correct. And I'm glad you put that all together. So that is the very simplistic way of saying it. So that's why we call it mechanically lowering inflation, because they are taking basically the statistics, working out how the statistics are worked out, and then making sure that they can mechanically move the statistics lower because of where it's red.
Energy costs aren't decreasing. It's just basically that's the way in which they can manipulate the outcome.
Yeah, so that is the way to answer that question, and why market economists particularly like they haven't actually improved inflation. They've just shifted the cost out of the inflation read. It's like when you hear them talk about on budget sheet and off budget sheet spending from the government, which is absolutely a ludicrous thing to say. But all these infrastructure projects that are off budget, that are in the hundreds of billions of dollars, they're still part of the budget. They're still part of the overall debt structure the country has. It's just not having to be argued inside the operational year-on-year budget of the government rather than the long-term structural budget.